What's up, everyone? John Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo here, unboxing the big daddy of the smartphone world. This is the 4.7-inch HTC Titan, now available for AT&T wireless. I honestly had about 4 Clash of the Titan jokes prepared for this intro, but out of respect to the audience, I decided to not make them because, in all honesty, they weren't overly funny, as is true with most of my jokes. So without further ado, we're going to take the unboxing hammer and we're going to open this guy up. All right, so let's take a look at the box. Here is the HTC Titan. Clearly that's not drawn to spec because it's a giant phone. Definitely a little bit bigger than just that. Smart meets life, 4G, HSPA Plus variety, branding on the front, some information on the back. But why bother reading when I can just tell you? Let's go ahead and open this guy up. There is a sticker here. We will use the hammer and the naily take outside to do so. Boom. Cut. It's harder than it looks. Come on. Aha. All right. We finally got it. HTC Titan. This guy's been available in unlocked form and available in the European markets, but this is the first time it's made it to the US shores. So we'll go ahead and peel this stuff out. Quick start guide, so you can start quickly. Rest of that stuff, texting and driving, it can wait. That is a true story, it can. And as much as it pains me, I'm going to put this guy to the side for just a minute. I'm going to use this as my daily driver for a little while. I'm a big fan of Windows Phone 7. I think this is a perfect combination for me. We've got the HTC charger. Goes into the wall. That part goes into the wall. This side's not going to work. And that's, of course, where your USB cable is going to go, which lives right here. Boom, USB cable. This is micro USB for syncing and charging. And we've got a battery because you got to power this guy on. It is of size 1600 milliamp hours. Not a giant battery, but Windows Phone 7 is pretty good about judiciously using battery life. All right, here's the phone. Let's go ahead and peel off all this stuff. Bam. For a 4.7-inch phone, it doesn't feel that big in the hand. It's extremely thin. I had a chance to play with this guy at CTIA, and I really enjoyed it. It came away as being one of my favorite devices that they announced there. So let's go ahead and pop in the battery, and while it's booting up, I'll run through the specs. In typical, or at least recent HTC fashion, the whole back comes off, which still kind of makes me feel like I'm breaking the phone. Boom, back is off. SIM card's going to go in there. We don't have any expandable memory. But I will pop in the battery, we'll let it boot up, and I'll run through the specs of the HTC Titan. I'm so happy I got the back off in one take. Sometimes I have to edit like 12 times so I don't look so fumbly trying to get the back of these devices off. Go ahead and power it on. There we go, hopefully it's got enough juice. And while it is booting up, we'll run through the specs of it because this guy has a lot of stuff crammed into it. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the price. It's currently available for $200. With a 2-year contract, $550 off contract. So look for some deals, especially with the holiday season. That price may change. It's running Windows 7.5 Mango. Go ahead and get started here. From a dimension standpoint, it's 5.18 inches by 2.78 inches by 0.39. It's an extremely thin device, especially for one this large. And it weighs 5.64 ounces, so it's not a light phone by any stretch of the imagination. It is a 4.7-inch screen with a WVGA resolution. That means 480 by 800. So on a screen this size, things are going to look big. You're not going to be able to see more on a screen this size. The stuff that you could see on a normal screen with the resolution of 480 by 800 is just going to look larger. So if you, let's say, have bad eyes, things are going to look nicer to you, and you're going to have to do less squinting, which I'm finding myself having to do more and more to read stuff. So we don't have a SIM in there. We'll hit close, accept. We'll go and do recommended configuration. Not in Dublin. We'll get through all the rest of that stuff. Let me go ahead and run through the specs. Again, the battery is 1600 milliamp hours. It's going to deliver about 11 hours of talk time or 360 hours of standby time. It's being powered by a single core 1.5 gigahertz chip, and that's the Qualcomm manufactured MSM8255. Hope you're writing that down and taking notes. I had to look at my notes to remember what that was. Single core, but Windows Phone 7 has been optimized for single core chips, and really the experience has been very zippy on almost all Windows phones that I've used. 512 megabytes of RAM, 16 gigs, but that's non-expandable. On the back of this guy, it's got a camera, lives right there. 8 megapixel sensor with dual LED flash. It can shoot 720p video. Unique to this guy, HTC has added a panoramic mode too, so you can shoot panoramic pictures. It also has a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera, so you can take front-facing pictures. HSPA Plus of the 14.4 megabits down variety, Bluetooth 2.1, so you get 2.1 Bluetooth in here. Let's do a quick size comparison because this is a bit of a larger phone, and I want to show you exactly what it looks like. So let's bring in, let's say, an iPhone 4. Looks downright tiny next to it. But funny, if you stack them this way, you can really appreciate how thin the Titan is. If we want to actually appreciate how big the Titan is, let's bring in a tablet. This is the Samsung Galaxy Tab 8.9. So 8.9-inch tablet. You can see that right there. Put this right on top. You can definitely see how big a phone this really is. It did, however, pass my pocket test. So I was able to fit this guy in my pocket without looking super weird. So don't worry about not being able to fit this in your jeans. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the setup, and I'll walk you through the OS just very quickly. All right, so the setup is all done, and here is Windows Phone 7.5 and all of its 7.5-inch glory. And these tiles are big. I mean, super big. So you're still getting the same sort of 4 rows of content that's being displayed, but they're giant. I have pretty big hands. I mean, if you look at like my finger on one of these things, you can definitely appreciate how big it is. So let me show you what the keyboard's gonna look like. That's one of the places that you're gonna see a difference. We'll go ahead and hit cancel here. If we go ahead and check that out, the keyboard ends up being really nicely sized, so you can type, hopefully, pretty easily here as I do my typing. Windows Phone 7.5, I think, has some of the best on-screen keyboards. All right, so let's do a quick tour of the device. You have your 3 capacitive Windows Phone buttons that are standard. You've got back, your menu button, and your search button. There's the 1.3 megapixel camera at the top, speaker grill, microphones on the bottom. On the left-hand side, there's where your charging and syncing port's going to be. That's micro USB. On the right, volume up and down. On the top, 3.5 millimeter headset jack, and your power and lock button living on the right-hand side, microphones and all that kind of stuff. The back, as you saw when I took this off, is all one piece. This is plastic, but it feels like metal, and it's cold to the touch like metal, with a different sort of soft touch rubber feel here. And you've got a whole bunch of microphones for speakerphone use when it's turned on its back. And there's a speaker grill and another little piece of rubber here at the top. In case you drop it, it'll help protect it. So stay tuned to the channel for a full review of the HTC Titan. I'm actually really looking forward to using this guy. Any questions or things you want to see, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. I'm Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.